Hey there folks, Bill here, and today I'll be doing a tutorial to make a overclock factory, such as this one right here. Now this idea was given to me by a fellow by the name of, I'm going to spell it out here, WCPWMSUTO. Friendly fellow gave me this idea, so let's get started then. So now here is just a item I was playing around with to figure it out. Obviously it won't look like this, since halfway through building this I figured out that water buckets have an EMC. Could have used that a little bit earlier, but oh well, bit of fun. So as you can see, it is actually making some overclockers. Not quickly, but it's doing it fast enough for my liking. So let's get over to this bit over here. Now I've set up a little bit here, just place some condensers and collectors. Obviously I'm just using this for the video at the moment. You could feed it through I don't know, quarries, collecting items, putting through filters and whatnot. But this is what I have set up here just to make it nice and easy. You don't need gaps of 3 or whatnot. I'm just using it to make it a little bit easier, a bit more spaced out, a bit easier to follow. And also you will need a power supply for the machines we'll be using. I doubt it will require 4 high volt solar arrays, but that's what I've got going. So let's just go through the items that we'll need for today. So 15 retrievers. Now what I forgot to mention in my last tutorial was you don't have to use all retrievers for them, since they are a pain in the ass to make. But what you could use transposers as well. The difference between them both is retrievers will be pulling items out in a stack, and they're also a bit more advanced, letting you pick just certain items, which we'll have to do for a bit of this build, since it'll be a bit more complicated than a solar. But transposers, you could use them for, let's say, taking items out of automatic crafting tables. Since they can only make one at a time, you don't need to be taking out stacks, except for when you get to copper cables. As you can see, they make them in lots of 6. So you would have to use a retriever to pull out all 6 if you're using a transposer, which take out one at a time, be much slower. But you can use a transposer for this, they're very easy to make. So now we've got that bit done, let's move on. 5 automatic crafting tables, that's a given. 2 centrifuge extractors and induction furnace. Don't need to be using the advanced ones, but I am just to make it a little bit quicker. Sapphire block covers are optional. I'm using them just to make it easier for placing the on-off switches that we'll need, which I'll be using wireless receivers for, which are hooked up to the timer, which you can see right there. Oops, sorry about that. So let's see. What else do we need? A chest, somewhere for them all to go, doesn't have a crystal, such and such. A few stacks of tubes. They can be redstone if you want. I prefer just pneumatic ones since they look a bit neater. And let's get to the materials. Oh yes, and let's not forget transformer upgrades. Things with their machines is the induction furnace can take medium voltage. These can only take low voltage, so I'll be using this so they don't blow up, hopefully. Let's get on to the materials we'll be needing. So, copper, water bucket, hopefully a spare bucket, I'll get to why later. Redstone, iron, sticky resin, and tin. Only that's 6. So then, let's stop wasting time and let's get started then. So I'll fill it out. Let's start on this side then. So we'll put in this one water buckets. Nice and easy. Then we'll be moving on to tin. These will be for the water cells. Here, then it'll be iron. For the circuits. Send me the redstone. And how do I mess it up? Easy enough to figure it out. Let's just go with throw some sticky resin in here and copper in here. Okay, that's set up. Let's place our. Now, yes, let's just explain this little hole that I got set up here. This will be using so we don't have issues with the water cells, since the buckets aren't removed in the creation of them, which we'll get to in a second. So let's just place 5 retrievers. 6, sorry. I'll fix this all up later with a screwdriver in a second, at the end. Okay. So let's see. Probably start off with the wires. That easiest to make. So let's see, how shall we do it? Since this one has the sticky resin, we need to be going out, and once again, input on the machines is the top, output is the right side of it. So if the machine's facing you, it'll be on this side. Now this is another reason why I'm using these block covers, so the pipes don't connect where you don't want them to. Quite useful for that, and also helps save space. So now that we have that set up, then we need to place another retriever, like so. Just break that block later for the cable. So we'll have rubber, sticky resin going in, rubber coming out, and we'll hook it up. Let's just say, let's move this along. Let's just put it right here. So there we go. That's copper cables done. A retriever on top and a tube on top, just so we know where we're going. So let's move on to the water buckets, I think. So let's see, this has our water buckets in it, this has our tin. So with the tin, we need to make cells. So let's see, oops, sorry. I'm just going to move this straight into a crafting table before tin to make a cell. Drop this on top. Move this out too so it doesn't connect to the machine on the side, and there we go. So we'll move this just out one more. And so that is where our cells will be going. So now it'll be water buckets and cells. Once again, place that on spot. Bugger, made a hole. That's just fantastic. Fix it up later. So what do I have set up for this? Yeah, that's right, that's how it's going. So place a crafting table here, run this into the side of it. So now we'll be having water buckets and cells, which will then be turning into water cells. Now with this, let's just say we've got buckets and then we've got cells going at the top. We'll lose the cells and the water, but it'll leave the buckets. Now automatically, it'll drop the buckets into this bottom row, and then that'll overfill and we'll start getting issues later on. So for this, we'll just break underneath this crafting table and we'll place a retriever. So what that'll be doing, will be taking out the empty buckets, which we'll set up in a second, and we'll put them straight back into this condenser over here. So won't be losing anything, just be really a bit of free MC, pretty much. Now obviously you could pipe this onto anything else that's needed. I'm just moving on to this side since it's easy. Just place that there. Obviously, probably a better idea would be wrapping this back up over to this side, since that'll speed up the water production, since that does slow down. Now, since it's on the bottom, anything that goes in this bottom row, it could take out, so that's where the spare bucket comes in. So you'll open up the interface of the retriever, or just put a bucket here. So what this is telling the machine is, on each tick, you can only take out empty buckets. So that'll be saving us a lot of trouble. So let's see, now we have our water cells being made. Now what we need to do with this is put them into a extractor, which we'll place right here, centrifuge extractor. And there we go. Bit too much power, don't know why it went through, but now we just lost our extractor. So that's fantastic. Let's just bring this cable. Now sorry folks, gonna have to cheat here and give myself a second one. As you can see, I am obviously not playing this game legit. Rescue mode. Let's just put on cheat mode. Nice and easy. Get ourselves an extractor. Don't need 64. There we go. Let's hope this doesn't blow up on me again. Should have known. That's why I removed a cable, but apparently that wasn't enough. So let's see. Now this will be going at medium voltage, so that's why we have our transformer upgrades to avoid what just happened. But oh well, let's move on. Be replacing a retriever to take out the water cells. So there we go, that's our water cells, and we have our copper cables done. Now what else we need is our circuits, sorry. So this here is our iron. So once again, input top, output on the right, placing a cover, shift, shifting while I'm clicking so I don't open up the interface. And now one more retriever, which I'll fix up in a second. So now here is our iron, then we're going to refined iron. So now what we need is, let's see, probably just run it along this way, place our crafting table right here. This will be hooking up our redstone. There we go, nice and easy. Let's just run this along, probably on the outside. Fortunately there isn't enough room, it'll connect and it'll look a bit messy. But we will need wires later on. So there we go, we've got our wires, redstone, refined iron. And that is our circuits done. Now for this, let's just move this along the side here. Probably place it right here. This will be just fine. So this will be our water cells going in, or whatever they'll be called. Hook up our wires, and let's run along our circuits. So preview this one out one more, bring this over two so the pipes don't touch, and stick a retriever on top. And that there is our finished product. So let's just move pipe along. Luckily for me, I've got a chest this time, which is just fantastic. And I'll place it right here. So now that that's all done, let's just go through, set up the wires, and move for the retrieve server. So as I was saying earlier, the induction furnace can take medium voltage, easy, without blowing up. You can't put high into it, so that is for the medium transformer. Medium volt transformer, the extractors and the macerators, they work off low voltage normally. Since I don't have enough of these, I'll just have to turn creative mode on. Let's hook this up before we do that. So I'll put our transformer upgrading here, upgrading to a medium voltage, connect this up, and missing the pipe there. Just put that in. So now they're all getting power. So let's just put our redstone torches down. Redstone torches will keep them running at maximum, so we won't be wasting any time as these spin up. So even without items, if there's a redstone signal, it'll go up straight to its max speed. Let's do the same for the furnace and for our other one over here. As you can see, they're all just spinning up. Now with the screwdriver, this is what we use to change the items of all red power machinery. It's just a stick and a bit of iron. So it's nice and easy to make. All these just facing the right way. Now a few issues with this design is it will slow down after a while. Again, will be quick, mainly because you can't make enough iron. Can't make the water buckets and also the iron quick enough. So as I said in previous video, one way to fix that, either add more collectors, put some relays in, some collectors, or even just add a second layer to it. So put another furnace on top of the other one, run some pipes into it, and just double up your production of iron and buckets, hopefully. So with these machines, it is the bigger hole is the input, smaller is the output. On my texture pack, the yellow side, input. That's all set up. Now let's start placing our wireless receivers. As I said at the beginning, got a timer hooked up to a transmitter. That's what I'll be using to get the on-off tick that's needed for these. As you can see, there goes our water buckets. Just place these all around. There's our tin going in. I'm sure I hope it's tin, or it's going to be a pain in the ass to fix this. Now this is also why I got the covers, to make it a little bit easier to put items on this one, where you could be using a block or whatnot. You can just put a cover block, place it right on top of the tubes, and they sit right on top. So let's just do that all around. Now here it looks like I have screwed myself up a bit. So let's just hope this works. Hopefully. Doesn't look like it does, so I'll be changing that to a redstone pipe. That's one bonus with redstone pipes, they carry a signal through. Now, you can't just place one of these right next to them, you will actually have to use redstone dust to connect your redstone signal to the pipe. Place that, and let's see. That's dropped out for some reason, that's just fantastic. Is that everything? No, just one more. Let's see, I believe that is about it. Just this. Now I'll get back to you as well. I'll quickly fix this one up. Okie dokie then. So now that's all fixed up. As you can see, this is what I had to do to fix this one up, which is also facing the wrong direction, which is just fantastic. So that around fixed. So yeah, set up the timer, well, receiver, bit of redstone dust hooking up the pipe. So that is what you need to use to pretty much hook up anything to the tubes. You've got to be dust. Can't I don't believe you can use redstone wire, but this one is. It appears I've forgotten another one. I believe I'll be able to place this just here. Yes, I can. Is that that? Is it working? No. Just place it right here then. No. Okay, it's going to be playing different. Just place this here. Another use for the covers. Fixes everything. Okie dokie. Now that I believe I have the wires hooked up on everything, for some reason these have it's all unloaded itself. Actually, quite annoying that is. Well, I'll be getting back to you in a second. Okie dokie, and I'm back. Just had a few things to fix up. Some of the timers had stopped working since the game had actually crashed on me, and I actually had despawned it or something. It was quite interesting. Okie dokie, then this all seems to still be working, so let's start setting this up. So let's start with the tin. I need to make water cells out of it, which is just one of these. I believe it just pulled out some tin nuggets. Don't want that at all. Let's just take this with me. So you've got the cells being started. Water cells are these, so it is a water bucket, then with a cell on top. And as you can see, it's taking water out of the bucket and placing the bucket in the bottom slot, which is then being taken out by our bottom retriever, so correctly, which you can see just right there, and it's just been hooked back up into our condenser, which is should be working out. So let's move on to our next step, which will be the cables. Now it appears I don't have anything working here. Once again, I've forgotten to set this up, which is fantastic. Sorry again, folks. I'm just going to fix this up. It's on timer. I've got a spare redstone tube. So unfortunately, I didn't lay out my glass cables very well. They ended up going under 2 retrievers that I needed to use. So hopefully you can lay it a bit better, maybe just drop it down one more block, which should stop that. So now we have plastic resin being turned into rubber. Got one in here, so let's select 6 rubber, 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. That liquid's now. Then 3 copper in the middle. And now there's our copper cables running through. Now these will be going off to make our circuits which we need. Now hopefully this has been done correctly. Yes, we got our coolant cells going through. And here we go. Got our cells for our circuits. It'll be 3 copper cables at the top. I'll just take these with me for later. 3 copper cables at the top, 3 at the bottom, like so. And 1 refined iron and 2 redstone. And there's our circuits. Now I took the copper cables with me later because it will take a while for that to fill up, and we'll be needing them right here. So for this, it is 3 coolant cells. Sorry, it's actually top, my mistake. 3 coolant cells in the top row, 1 circuit in the middle row, and 2 copper cables on either side. And there's overclocker upgrades. And like I said, it will slow down after a bit because of how much EMC these buckets are. But it should be, maybe, hopefully every 8 seconds or so, we're getting another overclocker out. Made 7 already, and that is about it. It will take a few minutes for it to fill. Take a few minutes for cables to all fill up or to speed up. Obviously we can speed this up by reducing the timer down to 1 second. Currently it's on 2 seconds. But that's about it. There's our overclock factory. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you liked it. If you didn't, well, dislike obviously. And I hope it helps out and you found it useful and learned a few things. Thanks for watching. See you next time.